Warning: this episode contains strong language. Hello and welcome to episode 17 of PauseCast. It's Thursday, October 13th, 2016. I'm Jessica Alavette, and I use she, her pronouns.
And I'm Mark Hanna, I use he, him, and I just realised it's the 13th of October. Huh, cool.
Is that...
Yeah, so, what was it? 14 years ago now, I think. This was the day I graded to black belt in Taekwondo.
Oh, wow.
So that was fun.
Well, that's kind of neat.
Yeah. Huh. Okay, anyway, sorry, I only just realised that it was the anniversary today when you said the date just now. It's only been the 13th all day.
You've only not noticed all day, too.
Yeah. It's all right, I don't notice every year anymore.
We record late at night. Tonight we're recording it about an hour later than normal.
I'll try to stay awake.
You'll be fine.
I'll be fine.
So this week, I've been playing the most contrasting games I think I can possibly think of.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'll
like
start
Postal
with...
and Animal Crossing.
You're not far off,
yeah?
Actually. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
The politics of one thing, I will say, are significantly better. I've been playing Stardew Valley.
That's so nice.
It's a very nice game.
I haven't actually played it in a little while, but I did play it after it came out. I picked it up.
And now it's got the 1.1 patch.
Yeah, I haven't touched any of that yet. But it was really nice when I played it. So
yeah. So Stardew Valley is... It's a Harvest Moon kind of game. If you played Harvest Moon on the Game Boy Advance or GameCube or basically any Nintendo system, it's a...
or not, since I played Harvest Moon on the PC by emulating one.
Okay, that's fair. It's a game about running your own farm and raising animals and talking to people in the town and just overall being very pleasant. Like, it's just a pleasant game to play.
It's a really nice, relaxing one, right? Like, it's one of the only games I can... Actually, it's the only game I can think of right now where there is absolutely no time pressure. Like, if you just sit in the game and do nothing for a few days, you're going to be fine. Like, time will pass, sure, but you're not going to, like, fail objectives or anything like that, which is a really nice thing for it, I think.
Well...
What?
There's some time stuff.
No, there is time stuff, but anything you miss, like if you're worried about festivals or something, they come round again the next year.
Well, yeah, there's also like timed quests that appeared.
Okay, that's true, but they are randomly generated and reappear and stuff. So if you pick one up and then don't do it in time, then yes, you fail it, but it's not something that's going to have a lasting impact.
Actually, I'm seeing something interesting here too about Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Valve has been doing some big presentations and stuff today. And they are talking about some of the 9 top earning and reviewed games.
Oh, I saw that.
2016.
Chucklefish did so well, didn't they?
Yes, they did. They have 2 games on there.
Yeah.
They have Stardew Valley and Starbound on that list. So Chucklefish as a publisher and as a developer coming out pretty well. Also on the list, Firewatch, which was a game I very much enjoyed this year.
I've not played it, but I have heard very good things.
It's a nice little 3-hour walk through the woods. I really, really enjoyed it.
I've heard it's got good writing as well.
It does. It has really good writing and a really good mystery to it.
Cool.
So Firewatch is a pretty easy recommend. Also on here is a couple of Paradox games, if you are that sort of gamer. You got Stellaris and Hearts of Iron 4.
I don't think I've played either of those ones.
Well, Stellaris is kind of a space exploring and strategy game.
I like space exploring.
It feels a little like, from what I've seen of the screenshots and stuff, it looks a little bit like Sins of a Solar Empire, but much more modernized and streamlined. And Hearts of Iron 4 is basically like the kind of core Paradox games, like Europa Universalis and Crusader Kings, just through World War II.
Right.
So those are some of the top-selling games on Steam, and that's rather timely.
Is that for the past year or something?
That's for this year, 2016.
Okay.
And I have also been playing this week. This is the really high contrast.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing Mafia 3.
Right, because that came out, last Thursday?
Yeah, it came out last Friday.
Last Friday.
And to everybody who is kind of upset they didn't get to hear an episode last week, if there's anybody, sorry. Things just didn't work out for me and Mark. I was able to put up episode 16, which we recorded 2 weeks prior. But, we missed a week. Sorry about that. Yeah, I've played about 8 hours of Mafia 3 so far.
Nice, it's good effort.
Yeah, I've spent about 8 hours in it, and it's, oh my god, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Everything about it's really beautiful.
So it's set, you've told me it's set, in a, like an alternate New Orleans in the late 60s?
That's correct.
Whoa.
Mafia 3's setting is 1968 New Bordeaux, which is its version of New Orleans. They've made a lot of changes to kind of the layout of New Orleans, with a couple kind of central design concessions that they've kept in mind. They want to keep the French ward as an area that you kind of have to crisscross through, so you always are kind of reminded of the kind of architecture people tend to associate New Orleans with.
What kind of architecture is that? Because I've never been there. I've only been to the States once or twice passing through. Never been to New Orleans. It's unfortunate that the main thing I know it for is Katrina. What sort of architecture does it have? Yeah?
Yeah, very ornate. A lot of floral stuff, surprisingly.
Okay.
Yeah, ornate and elegant be the easiest way to kind of describe that architecture. It's got, oh my god, it's got so much interesting stuff in it. I want to talk mostly about the story for a little bit.
So 8 hours in puts you roughly how far through the story?
No clue.
Okay.
I still haven't gotten at least one of the core systems.
Okay. So you're not going to be halfway through or anything like that then?
Oh god, no.
Cool.
This is going to be easily a kind of 50 to 60 hour endeavor.
Wow, pretty good.
Yeah, that's a pretty sizable video game. That's about as long as I spent on Grand Theft Auto 5 story mode, so it's of a comparable size.
And it's a similar kind of open world, you can walk around, drive around kind of thing as well, right?
Yep.
Third-person shooter.
Yeah,
gameplay.
in terms of just purest gameplay, it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto 5. It doesn't innovate too much on that.
Okay.
But it does have some really satisfying audio design, I will say that.
Cool, because you always find it has a big impact for you, don't you?
Oh yeah, it's got a huge impact on how much I enjoy playing a game. Like, does it feel like this bit of stuff that I'm doing, is this sounding satisfying? Or is it sounding really flat and dull? Because that draws me out of it more than a lot of things.
I know that was our big point of difference on Shadow of Mordor, where I really enjoyed it, and then you pointed out the sound design, and that's why you didn't. And honestly, going back to it, I notice it now. And my flatmate was playing the Mad Max game, which, like a few games are doing now, is using that same Arkham-style combat.
Yep.
But Mad Max has got really nice, satisfying impact sounds that Shadow of Mordor was missing.
That's something I noticed when I was playing Mad Max.
Yeah.
That game, it surprised me a lot, especially considering it got such middling reviews.
And it's a game based on a movie, which usually is like a death sentence, like it means it's going to be terrible. But it seemed pretty good from what I saw.
Yeah, I really enjoyed my time with Mad Max. I actually want to go spend some more time with it because I enjoyed it that much. I think I've got 24 hours in that. So
Cool.
yeah. That game's got some really great sound design. So does Mafia 3. And the overall direction of the game is phenomenal as well.
In terms of the writing?
Yeah, in terms of the writing, in terms of the cinematography, how everything's shot, how everything's lit, how everything handles, how vehicles handle, how like firearms handle, all the like little things that are spread throughout this world. And even though it feels a little bit more static than, your kind of Grand Theft Autos and stuff like that, it feels a little bit more static in terms of its just raw world design.
Mm-hmm.
But the narrative is what I care about here. And it is extremely strong.
Cool.
The game opens with a note from the developers at Hangar 13. And I'm just going to pull
that's
this
interesting.
up. Yeah, it just opens with a quick note because it's got some warnings about kind of content you're about to see in there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the note that Mafia 3 opens with.
Okay.
Mafia 3 takes place in a fictionalized version of the American South in 1968. We sought to create an authentic and immersive experience that captures this very turbulent time and place, including depictions of racism. We find the racist beliefs, language, and behaviors of some characters in the game abhorrent, but believe it is vital to include these depictions in order to tell Lincoln Clay's story. More importantly, we felt that to not include this very real and shameful part of our past would have been offensive to the millions who faced, and still face, bigotry, discrimination, prejudice, and racism in all its forms. Hangar 13. Big note to open your video game on. And Mafia 3 absolutely tackles the issue of race in 1968 head on. And there's no question about that from the opening minutes, from this note. Hangar 13 shows a consistent commitment to getting this piece as a, period piece right.
And you're playing from the perspective of a black man as well, aren't you?
Yes. They believe him to be kind of mixed race. They say
right.
So. Like one of the characters talks about him in the beginning. This game starts mixing. It mixes documentary style footage, interviewing characters in the future who would be influential in the story.
That's interesting.
It's got some fascinating touches to it. And I really enjoy that style of storytelling. It gives it a lot of depth.
Mm-hmm.
And again, in these opening minutes, one of these characters says that he thinks that Lincoln Clay, the protagonist, is biracial. But back then it didn't matter. Because if you looked black, you were black.
Mm.
So, yeah. Mafia 3 opens very strongly. It's very much focused on its racial politics, and it's all the better for it. I'm having a phenomenal time with that game so far.
Nice. It's kind of refreshing to see a game willing to make a statement like that, actually.
Yeah, it's very refreshing to see a game willing to be outright political.
Mm.
Because this is taking a hardline stance.
And it's something that's certainly relevant in America today. I mean, look at the Black Lives Matter movement.
Mm-hmm. Now I don't want to talk about this too much more because I'm very, very white.
Me too.
So I want to find works by people of color who are writing on Mafia 3. I know there are some who've got some reviews coming up, like Tarek Musa. I think Cypher of Tyr, also known as Tanya, she runs I Need Diverse Games. She's been really enjoying Mafia 3 so far, and she's doing some writing on it. So we'll see how that works out. And I also know that Polygon will be having some thoughts collected into a few pieces as well.
Cool.
So
So
once
that's all
those
to come.
Yeah, all of that is to come at the moment. As I'm made aware of works and think pieces and stuff like that and reviews written by people of color on Mafia 3, I'm going to be doing my best to boost those out on the show. So if you're a person of color and you got some work that you want me to kind of amplify for you on the show, I'd be happy to do that. You can send me a DM on Twitter at cockatielcutie. And if you include a bit.ly link with a nice shorthand to your work, I'll make sure to give you a boost during the show next week.
Sounds like a plan.
So yeah, I'm really thrilled with Mafia 3. I think it's easily going to be one of my favorite games of the year, if not my favorite game of the year.
Wow, nice.
We're going to see how things go. There's some concern that I've seen from some reviewers that the systems get a little bit tedious as you go on, which can be a problem with open world games.
What sort of systems are these?
Like how you take down the various kind of mini bosses in the Mafia. You have to do certain activities, and some of them do apparently get a little bit repetitive.
Is that kind of Assassin's Creed 1 kind of thing?
Yeah, kind of an Assassin's Creed situation. So, and I mean, that doesn't bother me a hell of a lot. It's not the best, it's not the worst. So we'll see how I feel about it as we go on, but I definitely think this is going to be one of my favorite games of the year.
Nice. And it is very different to Stardew Valley, yeah.
Holy shit. The only thing that could be more different, I think, is a game whose soundtrack I've been listening to a lot recently because it's extremely good and got an official release. Thank you. Doom.
Yeah, Doom would be very different to Stardew Valley, I think.
StarDOOM Valley.
Oh. I don't know how you could even match those two things together.
Throw some demons in the mines?
I guess. Like, it's easier to put Doom in Stardew Valley than Stardew Valley in Doom, I think.
Yeah, you can't do any farming in Doom at all.
They need to get with the times.
Pathetic. Yeah, that soundtrack's very good, though.
And you listen to a lot of game soundtracks outside games as well, eh?
Yeah. There's a lot that I listen to kind of casually. There's a few that I kind of lean on a bit. Assassin's Creed 3 is a favorite to listen to casually.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Theft Auto 5's original score actually is surprisingly good working music.
I've got the 3 Mass Effect games music on my old iPhone, which is what I keep it for all my music. It's in my car, plugged into the stereo there. But I can't play it on shuffle because if a track like Leaving Earth comes on, I get all teary and need to play Mass Effect, which is not always convenient.
You could always make a playlist and just exclude those tracks.
So I could. I can't be bothered. I just don't shuffle everything.
I want to talk a little bit more about soundtracks.
Yeah.
But first, what have you been playing this week?
Oh, yeah. I haven't actually been playing that much lately. I've been reading my book and planning my D&D sessions, but what I have played, I did a bit of Minecraft with my flatmate, got back into it, which was fun. Did a little more Monster Hunter, which is mostly more of the same. Just, I'm at the point where I'm dipping in and out of it a bit rather than playing it for hours on end at a time. So, you do like a session of 1 or 2 hunts. Mm-hmm. And what was the other thing I played just recently? I should be able to remember it much more easily than this. That's right. There was a free weekend for Sniper Elite 3, which I had on my wish list because I was kind of interested in it. And I played it, and I thought it was pretty fun, but I didn't end up picking it up. So my laptop is a few years old, but it looked really nice and ran super smoothly on it, which was really cool. And it was fun, the gratuitous violence of its slow motion X-ray sniper shoot through people thing. But I think I wanted it more as kind of like a shooting gallery type game where I just go into it and mess around, whereas unsurprisingly the game has been made more like a series of challenges, right? which is like a fine and good thing that is, I'm sure, appeals to people who like these games, but it just turned into not exactly the type of thing I was looking for, so I didn't pick it up while it was half off or whatever. But it was fun for the hour or so that I played it. I ended up getting, I had accidentally shot someone at close range with my sniper rifle because I didn't realize I still had that out, and ended up trapped at the top of a tower with one way down, and like all the enemies knew where I was. So I just kind of gave up and died. But no, it was fun while I played it.
Sniper Elite's really known for that kind of slow motion, super gory, gross thing.
Yeah, it is gross, but it's satisfying as well.
It's satisfying. It's just nasty, but it's satisfying. It's like Doom. Doom's like constant flow of gore and violence. It's nasty.
They showed it off really well in their tutorial where you basically go out and your first task is, shoot these dudes in the distance who are just like spotting for artillery that can't hit you. So it's like,
right.
This is what happens when I shoot someone with a sniper rifle. What it reminded me of is the kind of thing I think I'd actually been hoping it was going to be like. The PlayStation 3 game, I think it was one of the like flagship games, Heavenly Sword.
Mm-hmm. We've talked a little bit about
Yeah, I have. Sword. I think I'm always talking about the same level on it because this is the thing.
The one with the 6-axis
The one with control? The 6-axis, and you're shooting a whole bunch of people with arrows, and you slow motion control the arrows with the 6-axis controller. Yep. That was the best thing. And I was kind of hoping Sniper Elite would be a little bit like that, where it's just like do a whole bunch of slow motion shots in a row for ages.
I know that a lot of people who play Sniper Elite, or at the very least some, just try to go for nut shots.
Oh, I didn't try that.
That's a thing that you can do, and it does in fact render that in the X-ray.
Oh god, I didn't try that, and I'm kind of glad I didn't.
Yeah, that is...
Yeah.
It's wholly unpleasant.
Yeah. I did get an accidental liver shot, and it actually came up and said, liver shot, on the screen. I was like, okay, that's a thing.
Well, I mean, it's designed to filter out garbage in your body, but I bet you can't filter out lead.
Yeah, it probably blew a hole in a bunch of other things too, to be honest. But yeah, so that was, like, it was satisfying, but I didn't pick it up for that reason. But it's nice when games have free weekends and stuff for just this reason. It was a bit of a surprise to see a single-player game with a free weekend, because normally it's games like Overwatch and some, like, MMOs and stuff that will do free weekends to get people into them. Yeah. I see it less with single-player games, so that was kind of interesting.
There's a handful of those, really.
Yeah?
It's not a lot, but there is a handful.
Okay. Excuse me. But yeah, so I did that. I did some Minecraft the weekend before, because I follow their dev blog, and I saw, they've got a new update. I thought it was out. It was in a snapshot, so it's not fully stable, but it was playable. You can play the snapshots.
Yeah.
Didn't find any of that new content, but it was fun to get back into it again. I really like the building aspect of it. So me and my flatmate made this little, like, fort kind of thing. Ended up going, and there was this whole mission to get cows, because it's a big deal in Minecraft if you don't start near cows, and you need them because you have to go and like hold a piece of hay so they follow you. But sometimes they just stop following you, and the nearest cows were 2 in-game days away. Ooh. And when monsters come out at night, it's kind of a hassle to have to slowly walk some cows back over several days. But we did it, so it felt like an achievement in the end.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, Minecraft is one of those good games for like generating stories, I guess, like that. That time that I dragged the cows across 3 days worth of snow.
Now, I've got a fun story about a video game.
Yeah?
You remember Metal Gear Solid 5?
I do. It's updating on Steam as we speak, actually, I noticed.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. So, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, has this beautiful feature in it. And I use this feature to add some very unfitting music.
Because it's set in what, the 70s?
It's set in the 80s, I want to say.
80s. No, I think you're right, actually.
I think it's 1986.
I'm going to Google this.
It's either 1984 or 1986, and I think 1984 would be a little bit too on the nose for even Hideo Kojima. So, 1986.
Set in 1984. It is 1984.
I don't know why I put that. I don't know why I thought that Kojima would be above that. Nope.
But, I mean, that Metal Gear Solid 5 doesn't really hit on the same notes as the book 1984, though.
No, it really doesn't. I don't know. It felt a little cheesy. That's all. But anyway, I put in some unfitting music because that's a thing that the video game let me do.
Can you put in your own music? I knew you could play music in their iDroid. Still can't believe they called it that.
I can't either.
It's like their GTA.
The iFruit.
And the drone, I think they had it. But anyway, so you can load your own music and play it in-game with that, can you?
Yes, you can.
That's a pretty cool feature. I hadn't noticed that.
Yeah, you can just load literally any MP3 file in there.
Because I made use of their play music through it, which is kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. I definitely made use of this feature, though, and some might say I abused it. Because what I did was I set my helicopter music to a piece of custom music that I put in there.
Wait, helicopter music?
Yeah, you can choose the music that your helicopter plays when it arrives.
Your helicopter plays music?
Yeah.
I need to get back into this game because I didn't know about any of these things.
Yeah, you can make your helicopter play music when it arrives. So
Ride of the Valkyries would be the best one for that, surely.
It actually does have that. You can do that. Okay. Ride of the Valkyries is a built-in option. And in fact, I believe it's one of the default ones that you have access to.
Oh, it's really good.
So I put in this custom track, and I summoned my helicopter. And as it approaches, some very unfitting music plays. Some guitar strums, a little bit of vocals. And then helicopter pulls up. It's landing. It drops into some sick dubstep. And Skrillex's Bangarang is the song I put in to Metal Gear Solid 5 set in 1984. And I played this very unfitting music very happily as I rode into the sunset. And that's my favorite Metal Gear Solid 5 story. But that leads us to a discussion about kind of custom soundtracks and how, whether they're like officially supported like Metal Gear Solid 5 and Grand Theft Auto 5 have, or whether they're kind of like just music that you listen to while you play the game.
Yeah, I mean, you can always turn off a game's music and play your own.
Yeah. Which I definitely did for like some of the kind of earlier Need for Speed games. Not because they had bad soundtracks, but because I just wanted to put my own music over it.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to stop listening to it, so I would sit down in front of the couch and I would put on this little MP3 player that I had, and I would play this old Need for Speed on the GameCube with my own custom music, and it was great.
We actually ended up doing that for Minecraft the other weekend because Minecraft's music plays a track every now and then, but pretty rarely. Mm-hmm. And it sometimes feels unusual to be playing a game without any music. It's like you get so used to there just being background music in video games. So we ended up just playing a bunch of my flatmate's stuff while we were playing with the music turned off instead. I mean, when you've got two people playing in the same room with sound on, you kind of want to turn the music off in that game anyway, because otherwise you'll get 2 bits of music going at once, which can be a bit discordant.
A little bit cacophonous.
Yeah, that's a better word for it.
Yeah, it's not super great when you're in the same room with someone and you both have music playing on speakers.
Although we have great fun when there's 4 of us playing Monster Hunter and we'll flick our volume up and down a bit while the victory music is playing, just like annoy each other.
Okay, that's good though.
So with custom soundtracks, have you got any matches between albums and games or anything like that?
I think there's like the Need for Speed one's the easiest example. I used to listen to. Remember a few weeks ago how I mentioned I used to be like a hardcore Christian and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
I used to listen to like kind of harder Christian rock as I played Need for Speed. And yeah, it's like
That's
the most
fantastic.
embarrassing. It's the most embarrassing, but I still have good memories of a couple of those albums because they're still pretty good independent of everything.
Cool.
Good old Reliant K and Berlin.
I can't say I recognize that, but that's not that's not too
someone
surprising,
out there recognizes the name, and they're like, "Yes, yes, I love those guys."
And along the lines of that religious music, when I was playing the Prince of Persia game, I think they've got like a credit sequence or something where there's a Disturbed song playing, and I kind of discovered them through that. So I ended up replaying through the game while listening to a Disturbed album, and now like associate that music with that game. But there's one cutscene, like a pivotal cutscene, maybe 2/3 through the game, which when I was playing just by happenstance matched up perfectly with the song Down with the Sickness, which is kind of a messed up song, but it worked perfectly with this cutscene.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's the one.
I got another song that you might recognize from a video game.
Yeah.
At one point. Do you have Spurs that jingle jangle jingle?
Yeah.
Even not Fallout custom soundtracks. A lot of
good stuff. Actually, in Fallout 3, there was a great mod that just added a whole bunch of music like that. Just in I think it was a new radio station, and so I Like Bananas Because They Have No Bones is now like one of my favorite songs, just because it's so great. It's the best. Have you heard it? You should
I
look
haven't.
It up on YouTube. It's great. It's hilarious.
See,
it just gets stuck in my head like it is
my
now.
My problem is there's a guy named Butcher Pete, and he's walking around all over the town, and he's chopping up all the women to eat.
That one just gets on my nerves because I've heard it so often.
Yeah, I know. It's in Fallout 3 and Fallout 4.
Yeah.
And that's another association I have. It's music and like negative reactions. I hear it in a video game. It's like, well, time to shut this off. While we're on the note of kind of period soundtracks, L.A. Noir's period jazz soundtrack is amazing. And Mafia 3's licensed score, the one that plays on all the radio stations, it's phenomenal.
Yeah?
The music in Mafia 3 really contributes to how Mafia 3 feels as a period piece. It gives it a lot of its atmosphere. And I really love that.
Kind of an easier thing to do with games set in the past, I guess. You can't really make future music that's amazing.
Unless you're Michael McCann.
Should I recognize that name? The
composer of Deus Ex, Human Revolution.
Oh, sorry. You can certainly have great scores, original scores for these games. But when it comes to having something like a radio station that's playing just like pop music or whatever from that era, it's much easier when you can pull from history than when you're like, oh, this game's set in the future. Shit.
Yeah, or even pulling from the modern age. As, your Grand Theft Autos are like to do.
Yeah.
Period soundtracks are just a lot of fun. They really are. Like we look at the soundtracks for like Metal Gear Solid, and
I mean you've talked in another episode about the song that Metal Gear Solid 5 opens with being a really good fit. Yes,
fantastic thematic fit. The Man Who Sold the World. I can't think of too many games that actually do that. They open with a piece of music that is thematically fitting to the game in a way like that was.
Fallout 3.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. I don't want to set the world on fire.
Yeah.
But you did. You did it anyway. Your
Wasn't
fucking
me.
job.
Wasn't me.
I know it wasn't you.
Haha, actually was. Anyway.
It was I was Fallout. The whole time. Fuck. You know, I forgot about that meme. I fucking forgot about it. And now you've reminded me of it.
You're welcome, I guess. It's not just games that I've got some of these associations with, actually. I used to, when I was in, was this high school or uni? Either late high school or early uni. When I was catching the bus every day, I was reading the Dune series of books, and I listened to Tool on the bus. And now one of their songs in particular, Third Eye, every time I hear it, it brings me back to the Dune universe, which is kind of neat.
That is interesting.
I mean, it probably helps with that song in particular because there are a couple of lines in the lyrics which just happen coincidentally to line up with some stuff from the books, which makes it a little more memorable. But the fact that I was listening to it at the time, and it's a 13-minute long song, so I probably listened to it for more time than the other songs, helps.
Oh, that's very good. Oh. I just noticed something.
Yeah?
One of Dark Souls 3's DLCs is now out.
Oh, did it not have all of them out already?
No, they haven't. There's only the first one has come out now. It was out end of last month.
Actually,
oh wait, no, it's not. It's not out yet. Never mind. It's just available for individual purchase.
Oh, like pre-order kind of stuff?
Yep, it's out on October 25th.
Okay. Well, speaking of that sort of thing, the Kerbal Space Program update I've been waiting for is now out. What they're calling the Loud and Clear update, I think, which adds the communication satellites and stuff, which I've been really looking forward to. It's out. Steam updated Kerbal Space Program when I opened it up just before this recording, so I'm sure I'll be playing that tomorrow or over the weekend or something, because I've been looking forward to that particular update. I've kind of been waiting for it before I go back into KSP. So that should be really cool.
That should be, yeah. What does this update add?
So the main thing about it, so previously you could send uncrewed ships with like a drone body to control it anywhere, and that's fine. Now they need to have a way of communicating back with your base, so they need to have an antenna on them, and it needs to be strong enough to reach the base. If it's not, you can like bounce the signal between different spacecraft that can see each other. So you can set up a communications network sort of thing. So like get a couple around the world, so around the home world, so stuff can still be controlled at night, like when it's on the far side from your space center. And then you can get a few with longer range antenna to make sure you can keep control of more distant spacecraft. I guess you could get some relay ones on worlds as well, so that when they're on the far side of the world from your base, they'll still get coverage. I mean, I'll know once I play it, but it's that communications thing is the big feature that I'm aware of. I know they've done a couple more things, like there was an engine update involved, so hopefully things will run smoother. They've updated the wheel physics and aerodynamics a bit, and they've added some stuff for mapping, so you can have a satellite map the surface of something, which I've seen a little bit about, but I'm most excited about the communication satellite stuff. It's been available in a mod for ages, but I've just been waiting for it to be in the base game before I try it.
Awesome. Yeah, honestly, complex simulation games kind of baffle me a little bit, you know? I've never really been able to get into anything like Kerbal Space Program or anything a little bit more serious, I guess, quote unquote. With the except, you know what? I have to take it back a little bit. I do, because there was one thing I used to do a lot. It was Flight Simulator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I used to play a shit ton of Flight Simulator.
I remember playing one of the earlier versions of Flight Simulator when I was like a kid, and I couldn't land. Except
I was the worst.
I could land backwards.
What?
I couldn't land forwards, but I could land backwards.
Can you kindly explain how the fuck that works?
Nope. This would have been when I was like 8 or something, and I could
So, okay,
consistently
so
land
you-
my plane backwards, but I
You
couldn't land
hacked
forwards.
the planet.
No, yeah, I'd like turn my engines off and turn the plane around, and then just like angle it right and wait. Because this was
What?
a version that's old enough where it's like the world is perfectly flat everywhere. So I wasn't worried about bumps or anything. But yeah, I could only land backwards.
What?
But the thing I
Fucked
like
up.
most about Kerbal Space Program, and I should probably preface this with I am a massive nerd and I'm into
It's
all
true.
things space. I've learned a lot from it, from playing it, from doing its tutorials, and from it getting me interested to go and look more stuff up. I get a lot of enjoyment out of that aspect of it as well. But yeah, unlike some other games, there's a cost, right? You have to familiarize yourself with this stuff before you can really play the game. I found spending that cost to be fun. I can totally get how some other people won't. Although KSP can be quite a cool game to watch Let's Plays of, there are a few people who put stuff up on YouTube about it, which are really good. One who's really big, who's quite good, is Scott Manley on YouTube, who's done a whole shit ton of videos of lots of space games, including Kerbal Space Program, which is quite fun. So it's a game I've probably watched more than I've played, but I really enjoy playing it as well. This and Minecraft, actually. I've also watched a lot of Minecraft, although not for a few years.
I remember when I used to be able to watch Let's Plays and stuff quite extensively. Now I can't really get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the PauseCast?
I knew about it. I never really got into it.
Okay. Back a few years ago, I thought this was the coolest innovation that I'd ever seen in anything gaming related.
Mm-hmm.
When I first saw this, this almost would have been like, holy shit, this would have been like 6 years ago. What the fuck?
Let's just gloss over that. Don't frighten yourself.
Mark, I'm old.
Shut up. If you're old, what does that make me? Don't answer that question.
Okay. But I remember they it started out as these videos of like these two guys goofing off and playing some Minecraft. Da, 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 da. Everything is normal, except then it turned out to be not. They had like mysterious figures who were other players showing up in their game and like talking to them and doing weird shit, and I was like, what is going on?
So they were making that to be a regular Let's Play and then had some actual plot stuff.
Yeah, they started developing like a narrative.
Wow,
and like
that's
there
really
was
neat.
weird stuff that this in-game character had built up, and there was puzzles and challenges, and it transformed into this whole unique thing. I found that just the most fascinating.
That must have been quite fun for them to put together.
I imagine it was, and the team that was behind that did grow quite extensively, to my knowledge. So there was a lot of people involved, but I imagine it must have been a lot of fun.
For some reason, that makes me think of the webcomic Homestuck. I don't know why it makes me think of that. I should go back and finish reading that. I never finished it. I think it wasn't finished when I was last reading it. Sorry,
it is over
just reminded
now.
me of it. Yeah, no, I heard that that had gone back and finished it, but I haven't read to the end. There's so much of it.
How long did Homestuck run?
Oh, years. I don't know how many years.
I feel
mean,
like
it's
it
far
ran
from
for
the
at
longest
least...
running webcomic, but...
Oh, God, no. I'm not saying, like, XKCD has them, like, cornered there.
Oh, no, there are longer ones than XKCD. I'm pretty sure Something Positive has been going for longer than XKCD, for example.
There's definitely stuff that's been running longer. But Homestuck ran for, like, 7 years, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I know they took at least one really big break at some point.
Well, they took several.
Right, okay.
There was a lot of them.
Yeah.
The Mega Pause, the Giga Pause. It ran for 7 years. Wow. Woofa doofa. Started on April 13th, 2009 and ended April 13th, 2016.
Oh, they finished on their anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that seems planned.
That could not have been anything other than deliberate.
Huh. I just went back to see if I could see when the first XKCD thing came out. The date's not on it, but at the bottom it has comics I enjoy, and Homestuck is one of them.
Interesting. Yeah, that's bizarre. It's bizarre to think that like happened. It's also bizarre to think that Toby Fox, the creator of Undertale, came from Homestuck and composing for Homestuck.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Megalovania was actually like used in Homestuck.
Huh.
So, for anybody who hasn't played Undertale, it's a theme for a specific character that was also used in this webcomic. There's a lot of stuff that actually kind of is from Homestuck, kind of hiding in Undertale.
They've got a pretty similar sense of humor between the two, I think.
What a bizarre world we live in. There's, yeah. I think that's going to kind of do it for us this week. Mark, what are you looking forward to playing this week?
Kerbal Space Program.
Just Kerbal Space Program?
I've been looking forward to that update. I don't think I'm going to be binging on it or anything, but it can take a while to get stuff up and running, so I'll probably spend a chunk of time on it. I don't know what else I'll play, but I probably will pick up another couple of things. I have been getting like my initial XCOM cravings that will really come around next month because it's going to be November, which is XCOM month. So we're getting up to that. I was looking longingly at it in my Steam list, thinking, should I play the other day? So I'm sure at some point I'll be getting back and doing another playthrough of XCOM 2 with all the DLC now.
Get ready for a strategy binge, folks.
But I'm not sure what else. I'll have to see what I feel like. But Kerbal Space Program for sure. What about you?
Well, I've got some Mafia to take care of.
That's true. It's a good point.
That's gonna be a good one. Stardew Valley still gonna be up there.
It's a really nice one to just relax with.
It really is. It's great to be able to like play a day and the game just saves at the end of it, and that can be it. You can play it in chunks and still feel like you're making solid progress.
And even if you're not making progress, it doesn't matter in this game. You don't have to.
No, it doesn't.
I really like that.
But I'm saying it feels good.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I like that it doesn't matter. It lets me relax.
And I've also got some kind of weird itches for a Souls game again. Yeah.
So Bloodborne or Dark Souls 2 or something. Do you have Dark Souls 3? I don't remember.
I have all of the Dark Souls games and Bloodborne. The only game I'm missing DLC for at this point is actually Dark Souls 3. Everything else I have either like a Game of the Year edition or just there was no additional DLC for that edition. Actually,
that DLC thing reminds me, another game that I'm likely to pick up again, if not during this next week, then soon, is Skyrim, because it's about to get its revamp done.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't played some of the DLC for it, but I own it, so I'll probably get back into that.
And I haven't played any of the DLC or finished the main game.
Oh, who finishes an Elder Scrolls game? Don't be silly.
There's people who do it. I saw it beaten in 40 minutes once.
Oh, shit. Okay, sure.
What?
40 minutes?
Yeah, that's 40 minutes to beat Skyrim.
Fair.
There's a cool glitch because there's like... There's a bunch of them.
Glitch.
There's one in particular that involves you in the middle of your marriage ceremony reading the Elder Scroll.
Okay, I didn't know you could do either of those things.
Yeah, you can get married in Skyrim, and you read an Elder Scroll at some point. And this Elder Scroll triggers normally it triggers like a cutscene that you have to watch for, I think it's like 5 minutes. And it goes very, very slowly. And you have no control over the game during this point. Mm-hmm. But if you read this Elder Scroll during your marriage ceremony, first you fail your marriage ceremony.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Because you're just staring into the void.
You fail your
scroll.
marriage. That's great.
Yeah, it's a good series of words, huh?
Yeah.
And the other thing you get control of the whole cutscene. So you can make it actually go faster by skipping dialogue and killing a particular dragon very, very fast.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing that you can do in that game. What else is there? There's a bunch of fun stuff. There's a glitch that involves using your horse to learn words of power because the horse learns them faster.
What? That is magnificent.
And if you ride your horse while you're learning words of power, the horse does learn them faster. So in this case, the runner used it to learn clear skies very, very quickly, and then rode the horse up to a part where you shouldn't be able to access without clear skies, and then uses it to get himself up onto it, and it saves him 10 minutes of walking around.
Although, to be fair, when I play Skyrim, walking around is practically all I do.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. There's one more.
I am the opposite of a speed runner.
There's one more skip that I found just fascinating. Shit. I fucking lost it. That's great. I'll see if I can remember it. But, I watched that game be beaten 45 minutes. It's pretty great. I watched Bloodborne get crushed in 48 minutes, I think it was. That's a hard game to beat.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Souls-esque game, so...
Yeah. Video games are wild. Speedrunners are wild. If you've never watched a video game be speedrun, definitely check out the Awesome Games Done Quick and the Summer Games Done Quick events. They've probably run some of your favorite games, and they probably broke them in just the most hilarious ways. I'd highly recommend those events. AGDQ 2017 was just announced recently, actually. I'm really excited for that. They're running Doom. They're running the new Doom.
Cool. So I guess they must have found a bunch of glitches to get through it then, right?
Yep, it's going to be completed in an hour.
How long does it normally take?
That game took me about, I want to say, 14 to 16 hours. I played it on PS4, so I don't have an exact count.
Okay. Sorry. Alright.
I think that's going to do it for us.
Yeah, I think I'm hitting my wall. Sorry.
That's all good. If you want to hit us up on Twitter, you totally can. It's nice and easy. We are at PauseCast Show. We are pausecastshow@gmail.com. Mark, where can people find us on Facebook?
On Facebook, we're facebook.com/groups/PauseCastShow.
Anywhere else?
Well, we've got links to where you can download the podcast as well if you're not already subscribed.
It's true. You can find us at bit.ly/pausecast-iTunes. And that will bring you to our iTunes page. If you're listening on iTunes, please consider rating and reviewing our show. It helps us gain some exposure, and we need every little bit of it.
And if you use Pocket Cast, like I know you do, Jess, there's a link for that as well, right?
Yep, pca.st/pausecast.
I like that URL.
It's a really great URL. I really appreciate it. To any of the crew at Pocket Casts, I do love you. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much for listening to PauseCast. As a quick reminder as well, if you want to email us and send us a moon fact, we still have a copy of Moon Hunters to give away.
Just one thing you like about the moon.
One thing that you like about the moon. You can do it.
And you have our email address.
That email address again is pausecastshow@gmail.com.
It's a good game.
It's a good game. All right. Thank you for listening.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.